Hey fabulous people, it's been a while since I've posted anything, but I've come up with a project idea that I think you'll all enjoy. As I'm sure many of you are aware, June is Queer Pride Month, or Gay Pride Month, and I've decided to do a series of videos talking about various queer characters in animation. And I'm going to start off with the series Adventure Time, specifically the characters Bonnibel Bubblegum and Marceline the Vampire Queen. And mostly going to be focusing on their slow burn relationship. The first episode that we see them interact is in Season 2, Episode 20, Go With Me. In this episode, Jake asks Marceline to help Finn ask Princess Bubblegum out on a date. It proceeds with Marceline and Jake giving Finn conflicting advice on how to get Bubblegum to like him, and Marceline is seen to refer to Princess Bubblegum by her first name, Bonnibel, and Bubblegum's attitude towards her is cold and distant. Near the end of the episode, Finn changed his mind about wanting to ask Bubblegum out and instead wants to ask out Marceline. She answers that she doesn't like him like that, and instead they attend the event as friends. Then in the next season, Season 3, Episode 10, What Was Missing, a door lord steals an item of importance from each of the main characters, including Princess Bubblegum, and locks it behind a door that only opens to a command from a genuine band. The group tries to perform, but Bubblegum calls Marceline's line about wanting to drink the red from your pretty pink face, probably talking about Bubblegum, distasteful. Marceline lashes out with the song I'm Just Your Problem. The song is full of feeling, talking about feeling rejected and not knowing why, and not feeling at fault but still wanting to make amends. Her song nearly opens the door, but then she realizes how open and vulnerable she was being and clams up. They take a break and then attempt to sing a song composed by Bubblegum. When it doesn't work, Marceline teases her about not being perfect either. The two start to argue, and Marceline even spits on Bubblegum. They all begin to go their separate ways, and Finn begins singing about how much they all mean to him and how happy he had been to spend time with all of them together. This causes the door to open, and they're able to retrieve their items. The item that had been taken from Bubblegum was a t-shirt that Marceline had gifted her in the past. Marceline hadn't actually lost anything herself, and though she denied it, had apparently just wanted to spend time with her friends. In Season 5, Episode 29, The Sky Witch, Princess Bubblegum is seen getting out of bed wearing that same t-shirt. She takes a moment to actually sniff the shirt before putting on a sweater over it. Then later on, Marceline interrupts a training session she was having with Finn and Jake and some of the other guards of the kingdom and insists that they hang out together. But it's revealed fairly shortly that she is tracking Maja the Sky Witch in an attempt to reclaim her childhood comfort object, a toy monkey she named Hambo. Bubblegum agrees to aid her, and they eventually come to the witch's house. While Marceline fights the witch's familiar, Bubblegum finds out that the obtaining of Hambo had been a legal transaction, as Hambo had been sold by Marceline's ex-boyfriend, the wizard Ash. Given that the transaction was legal, Bubblegum offers to trade for it, and gives up her t-shirt to get Hambo back for Marceline. And it's stated that the shirt has fresher, more powerful magical energies. In the Season 7 episode, Varmints, Marceline goes to Princess Bubblegum's castle in the land of Oo in the Candy Kingdom, but finds out that she is no longer ruler, and instead lives in a little cabin on the edge of the kingdom. Marceline asks why she made such a dramatic change, and Bubblegum answers that she wanted a fresh start, and she was growing a new kingdom with her vegetables. At least she would if the varmints would stop eating them. They then follow the attacking varmints down into the rock candy mines, where they reminisce about having snuck out there when they were younger, and how their younger selves were. After losing a fight with the mother varmint, they run off down a side tunnel and find the graffiti Marceline had made Bubblegum write. Upon finding it, Bubblegum breaks down, revealing how tired and stressed she was. She stated that she thought if she'd just focused on the work, she could handle everything, but all that she had accomplished was pushing her friends away, including Marceline. She then apologized for doing so, and a cave-in began, and Marceline dug them both out, taking them back to Bubblegum's cabin. Bubblegum admitted to being crazy balls tired, and Marceline offered to watch over the pumpkin patch while she slept. Bubblegum agreed and fell asleep, resting her head on Marceline's shoulder. In the season 7 episode Marceline the Vampire Queen, the beginning of the Stakes miniseries, Marceline has trouble on a sunny day moving about, given her vampirism, and asks Bubblegum to go through with a procedure to cure her of it. Bubblegum is concerned about why she wants to do so, and Marceline explained that she'd just been a messed up kid when she became a vampire, and still felt the same way, and wanted to grow up and mature. Bubblegum agrees, and they go through with the procedure, but just before pulling the lever, Bubblegum states that she cares about Marceline, and believes that she's doing the right thing. In episode 10 of the miniseries, the episode Take Her Back, after Marceline becomes ill while the group is hunting other vampires that were released in her conversion back to humanity, Marceline falls unconscious and Bubblegum spends the episode attempting to find a cure for her. Bubblegum tasks Finn and Jake with finding the Moon, a vampire with healing powers, so that Marceline can absorb her and they can avoid the kind of trouble in the future. Bubblegum is filled with guilt over Marceline's condition and finds herself at fault since she's the one who cured her of her vampirism. She uses this emotion and her concern to take back her kingdom, as Peppermint Butler revealed to have a lab there that could be useful in finding a cure for Marceline. The king prevents to attempt them from using the castle, stating that he won the election, to which Bubblegum answers, "Monarchies are not democracies," and then kicks him to get the keys she needed to get into the lab. The guards later reveal that they miss her and welcome her back into the castle. In Marceline's unconscious state, she dreams about being old and living with Bubblegum, just before waking up and absorbing the soul out of the Moon and being healed in the process. In episode 13 of Stakes, The Dark Cloud, after the essence of the Vampire King is accidentally released, Marceline feels that attempting to fight is worthless, that there's no way to win and bad things always return. The others encourage her to join the fight with them, but she refuses. The Ice King stops to ask her what she was doing and to congratulate her on sitting everything out, saying that they're both survivors, like cockroaches. Marceline decides she'd rather not be a cockroach and goes to fight the others, absorbing the Vampire King's essence entirely and becoming a vampire again. After she's taken back home to recover, Bubblegum states that she's welcome back with her in the Candy Kingdom whenever she feels lonely. Marceline answers that she needs time, but that she appreciates the maturity and empathy that being human again, for however short a period, granted her. After she's left on her own, she begins singing a lullaby that her mother used to sing to her. In the first episode of Season 8, Broke His Crown, Bubblegum and Marceline are invited to a dinner party hosted by the Ice King. Bubblegum and the Ice King have never gotten along, with him having to kidnap her amongst other princesses in the past due to his obsession with princesses, but Marceline has a complicated history with him, as he helped raise her after the Mushroom War. During the episode, it's revealed that the crown is malfunctioning and harming the Ice King. Bubblegum takes him back to her castle to investigate further, and she and Marceline are actually able to go into the crown to find the cause. There they find Simon, the man who Ice King had been before the crown had corrupted him, and the cause of the damage, his girlfriend Betty. They're able to stop her from destroying the crown, and Bubblegum and Marceline go back to the real world, taking the Ice King back home. Bubblegum reveals that it was the best dinner party she'd ever been to, as she doesn't particularly like parties, but she likes science. And finally, in the last episode of the series, in Season 10, Episode 13, Come Along With Me, Princess Bubblegum is going to war with her Uncle Gumbald. Marceline, as one of the few people still alive to remember the Mushroom War, urges her to reconsider, but Bubblegum refuses and sounds the war horn. However, Finn is able to convince her to give Gumbald one more chance to surrender. She, her uncle, Jake, Finn, and Fern, a doppelganger of Finn's held together by a grass demon, are pulled into a nightmare-type state and come to a deeper understanding of one another. It's revealed that after they regain consciousness, that Gumbald still planned to poison Bubblegum, but he was stopped and the war came to a peaceful end, just in time for Golb to appear. Golb is a god of immeasurable power, created of and began by chaos. It creates mutated monsters of the gathered soldiers and seeing this, and Bubblegum urges her soldiers to flee, as they would only be used to become more monsters that they would have to fight. While she's urging them to flee, she's attacked by one of the mutants. We see her go down and is just pinned under this Lovecraftian monster. Marceline sees this and flies into a rage and transforms into her true vampire form, monstrous herself, and she uses her strength to annihilate the monster. Bubblegum is revealed to still be alive, having been protected by her armor, and the two embrace and share a kiss for the first time in the whole series. They discover that music serves as a way to fight Golb, as Golb is discord and music acted as harmony. They are able to save their trapped friends, but Betty chooses to remain behind and use the Ice King's magic crown, now in its original wish-granting form, to save everyone. She tries to wish Golb away, but is unable, so fuses her consciousness with Golb's in order to protect the people she loves. In the final scene, we see Marceline and Bubblegum together sitting on a couch in Marceline's house, watching a puppet show together. It took 8 years and 10 seasons, but in the final episode, we got a kiss between these two characters. We had known from off-screen sources that the characters were meant to have had a relationship before and were still together. For instance, the creator Pendleton Ward had told the voice actress for Marceline that the characters had dated, but they couldn't show it in the series as Adventure Time aired in countries where homosexuality is still illegal. Beyond that, the kiss itself was unscripted. The script outline simply said that the two have a moment, and the storyboarder Hannah K. Nystrom included that in there, and reportedly someone wrote in the corner, "Oh, come on," probably indicating, what do you mean they have a moment? Honestly, as a fan of Adventure Time and a huge fan of Marceline and Bubblegum, it meant a huge deal to me, and I'm certain it meant a big deal to a whole lot of other LGBT plus animation fans, to have these two amazing, strong, dynamic characters who are such integral parts of the show get to have this chance. There's some naysaying and some disgruntlement at we only get this kiss in the final episode. But unfortunately, when you work for a network of any kind, there's strings attached, and sometimes that gets in the way of the story you want to tell. For years, they were blocked from stating outright what was actually going on between these two incredible women. But they finally got to tell their full story. And that means a great deal to me, and I'm sure it means a great deal to the people who worked on the show, along with many other fans. Anyway, that's the story of the relationship between Princess Bonnibel Bubblegum and Marceline the Vampire Queen. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me ramble about this show, and I'm hoping to have another video posted for you soon in the same vein. You stay fabulous, people.